Okay, I want to bless God for you. Those of us who will be coming on, thank God for the opportunity given to us again. It's an opportunity because, well, we think it's more than just an opportunity, and I want to say, you are most welcome wherever you are in the world. You might be watching from whatever this afternoon. I want to say you are most welcome because it is again an opportunity to join us here. Is worth opportunity, and I want to say thank God that we again here on Facebook. Welcome to the community engagement global mission. Um, Here we talk about rights and responsibilities to all of us, and I want to say you are most welcome. And here we are talking about the rights and responsibilities of every citizen. And I think those of us who are coming on, to be very precise, you are most welcome to view this live and get some basic information about human rights. We the Community Engagement Global Mission. Actually, the Community Engagement Global Mission is all about rights and responsibilities. So when we talk about rights, people sometimes in terms of how they view rights to be, it's not how it actually turned out to be. So again, we are on the public, we are live, and we want to say you're most welcome to this live again. And you have your right to your comment, or your right to say, well, this is not well education. But again, we want to say thank you to our followers and those of us that see us going to following. We have 850, but how many of us are following? Uh, 5,000, almost 6,000 followers. But again, we want to say thank God, even though we are growing, the following people who are following are growing, uh, and we soon reach to 1,000. I don't have a problem with set goals and some of the things that we have been talking about, human rights, education, and today again we looking at crucial issues of human rights in the world, and especially in Liberia and other countries. Well, I was kind of looking at the case of Nigeria. Uh, I'm not going to call a name out. I'm not going to call the person to be human rights actors. Probably people go to the the United States Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights for different reasons. So there are people who go to those schools to learn, at least to get the basic understanding of human rights, but it may be government or agency or agents, people who are just for government, people who government sent to train or to just learn and just be there to continue to promote government, even if government were doing wrong. So that is not human rights actors. Human rights advocates or activists. Well, advocates talk and well find solution. Uh, Go to the round table discuss. Even though activists go to the round table, but activists go to the point that government should act. They are going to take actions. So if you are not an advocate, you should be an advocate. You can be an advocate, also an advocate, because we're all talking about peace. So because the motion, the motto of the community engagement is about justice, peace, and equality for all in terms of human rights, is not optional. So there's no option, and whether you like it or not, you can infringe upon the other person's right. Whether you like it or not, that person's rights must be respected. That's human rights, because In short, it's an entitlement to every individual, despite their religious background, or the colors, or wherever they come from, or probably they are human and they have rights and responsibilities. And we emphasize on responsibility. There were most of us, if not all of us, cannot readily respond to life, because we think that we can demand rights, but then our responsibility we can't. So we talk in different topics. We've been talking about domestic violence, human trafficking, and religious freedom, religious tolerance. In other words, when we speak of religious tolerance, we speak of open country for people to exercise their right to religion, the freedom of thoughts, what they believe in. Well, except that thing they believe in contravene or probably is against the right of other people, or is harmful to our society. So then, of course, government act, because government is there to make sure that to protect every individual. So if let's take for instance, if a religion believe that they have an article, they believe they accepted them, but in that church, probably the naked, they unclothed, the women, the female, that is not a church. So then the government can step in, because then of course you're abusing the rights of another person. That abuse, and that church can be held responsibilities. We believe rights and responsibility. So if you take responsibility of your action, the choices you made, then of course there are people in the world, women especially in the West, they have opportunity, they have almost the rights. Well, but their responsibility is being ignored. Most women, if not all of the guys in the West, they think in their own mind that because they have rights, so their responsibility have been ignored. Now they don't know that they're responsible when they take actions that bring open people's eyes to see what's going on. So because of rights, you cannot ignore your responsibilities. Like, for instance, if you're a wife or probably a woman who, your rights, you're exercising your rights, and then you try to infringe on the man's rights only because you have rights. The responsibility is to treat the next person like a human being, despite probably the differences you had, and that's a complex situation all over the place. Despite your differences you had when you initially started your relationship, whether you went into a kind of legal or illegal or probably whatever thing you decided to go into, and then after a certain time, one person decided to do something else, then of course the choice that was actually made, now it could be the consequences some of us might be going through because we make choices, rights, and responsibilities. So when we can balance this whole thing, I was discussing and talking about a guy who from one of my men from Nigeria, and I like to look right in the face of anyone who think, well, we work together, collaborate together, but I can tell you that this is what I think you need to do as an advocate. I don't care who you are. You can be the total guy, man, or you can be doing something not balanced. If I'm not balanced in what I'm doing, talk to me. You got a right to rebuke me. I'm going to take the rebuke and learn from it, because we learn by mistakes, so that we can be able to be there for the people. So when I see people probably advocating for the rights of people, or stand and say, I'm an advocate, but yet in their nation, there are worse things going on that is more terrible. The world is taking their nation to be a nation. The fact that other countries are involved in things, and their nation is highlighted as one of the nations that have violated rights of people too much, human trafficking, or abuse, and domestic violence, and everything. And you can see it. It's not a hidden thing. In Nigeria, you can see some of the things that go on. Their own people comes out to bring it out because the internet is open. In Liberia, you can see, you can't hide it. That's what I thank God for the technology. So now you can't lie. So when you come out to only promote government, that means, oh, look at this other state. It's so beautiful. It's good to do that because you have to promote your country for people to be able to invest and to know. But equally so, when you're promoting your country, you must look at religious tolerance. It said religious tolerance free. You should look at some of the facts that is going on and also try to caution government. Talk to government. Begin to address some of the things. You might not find solution to it, but because you are the voice, we speak here. We can force government, but there are things that we say here, and government entity, people who are key relevant in those institutions, hear us. Sometimes they take note of it. It's very important. You might not think that it's important as an advocate. So if you begin to think about how balanced your advocacy is not biased, you're not kind of we say familiar. You want to be familiar with people, and your partiality is getting so close to the place where everybody noticing you. Then of course you need to check yourself and know that you're not doing right for the people. Because I can't be in Nigeria or Liberia or any part of the world, and something is going on there, especially massively against the people. Probably maybe the increase of economic situation, which we know globally, those things affect. But if it becomes massive, and then people's jobless and things are worse, even before or whatever time, whatever season, whether it was before or not, our responsibility is to look, check and balance the whole thing. Government, we need to take some steps. You're doing well in this area, but this is what happened. Our country is a good country. We see all the good things. Look at Kano State, look at this state. But this is going on in these countries. Let us begin to take note. Clear. But if you just sit and say, okay, everything is well, and just promote one institution because they are doing well, there are good things going on in all over the world. Workshop, project, training. People take advantage of a situation and go there and use the situation to rob the people, use the situation to get rich, other people use the situation to do some dangerous thing. And that's what we want to go through. No, we go to it to bring relief to our people. Let us not find probably something to gain from alone. No matter what we do here on Facebook, we gain on our project. Once we have our project, we got, because that is our project. We're working. That's a different thing. But you're working. So why will you want to do things? That means your organization, maybe we're giving a project, and you know what it means to rub shoulder with the people who give the project. That is a different case. But when it comes to the point that you as a part of an human rights organization, that is sounding your voice. Once you allow yourself to get more familiar with the government to the point where the thing that you're supposed to say in the favor of the people, then of course you will not do it because you're getting so close. So, human rights education is very important, very essential, because many people are abusing each other. Many organizations or government is violating people's rights. Because violations, in terms of violation, is not when somebody beat you and then it's violation. No, nobody take actions. When someone is taken to court, if someone is not taken to court, probably after someone maybe abused them, and then or taken to the police station, and then the police decided, well, to let the person go into a room, and then after the person who brought the complaint leaves, then they let the person go free. only because the person bribed them. If that case were reported back and that person was left and then run away up to 2 3 months, then it become a violation. The government doesn't act. Okay, so when government fail to act, it become a violation. So you can be, you can see somebody, maybe a girl child was maybe was tempted with and abused, and then maybe they went to the hospital to find out that it was the guy, and they were going through the investigation and say government they violated the girl. Right? No, it has to go through all the proper investigation, and then after the verdict, after it comes out, and then it becomes a violation when government fail to take action. Like in the case of Jessica, now in the legal side, according to the situation, he won the case, but on the other side, on the moral side, and even on the legal side, there's some there is an abuse in the place where Jessica's right was not actually protected. Her right was not protected in the sense that it was clear, all the evidence came out, but yet they allowed this guy, this lawyer, to take advantage because he was a lawyer. So then it became a violation when government did not act, and then we see what happens. So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what status you find yourself in society. You know, when the quotation or the definition of human right is an entitlement to every individual, then of course, if that right is not protected by law to guarantee that person's safety, then of course it becomes a violation. So let's agree that we are all in this world together. We are all in this together, okay, as advocates. And our rights is that we have rights as advocates also. So if we express well about maybe we between government and the people, but we are for the people because we present to government the case. We are like an advocate. So when we advocate for people, we presented the case, okay, to say, oh, this my sister or the people in this community actually have problem with water, and they've been going through this problem for many years. I think they have rights. Our responsibility is to push forward and begin to engage government constructively with different lobbying with the House and whoever relevant, maybe committee in the House, to make sure that that community, either through the representative of that district, if the representative fails, then we take it up with the House. If the representative fails, then we can bring that complaint to our leaders and an advocate or a group of people who are maybe civil society leaders. So then we will be approaching it the right way. So, but not to take it violently. You see, even though the advocates comes in, the advocates try to do it, and the advocates come in because it seems to be a government is playing deaf ear to what our advocates seems to be not going in the right direction. So then the advocates come in and say, no, we got to put some fire in this thing here. So maybe they say, okay, we are staging the protests in against the rights of people that were violated three months ago. We can see the lady, they carry her, and we can see her. There's all the jail we went to, we cannot see her. Out of a step in to say we want a living person, we want to see them. Okay, and sometimes if you are not careful and the government don't want to pay attention to the activists, then the activists will take another trench. Well, sometimes we all say, violent-free protest, but sometimes the activists go to the point to want to do something against so that government can see. Sometimes they take the black the rule, and then government take action, like some of the situation with the National Army, even though they were wrong in some of the things they did. But those are things that people were behind pushing them, whether they were real activists or they were political activists. That was a different case. Now, I'm not talking about politics. You see, don't mix uh, advocacy up with politics because it become a chaotic situation. And that way I tell people, look, man, you can buy my favor. It's not possible. When it comes to putting the people behind and focusing on your case, probably maybe you want to you want us to do something and you want my favor, or you want us to forget about certain things. When it comes to the people's rights, God be my witness. I pray that I will not come to that place. You see, when you begin to forget about the mandate or the assignment, and that's what I always talk about, the assignment. I spoke to a lady from the Liberia, um, Economic Development Initiative yesterday, and Lena is a very protective and prospective organization, and they are doing well. That is part of our duty as human on this planet. And I want us to get it clear. I want us to understand that we have dual role. We are playing our role, and the role that we're playing in our society. It depends on our own legacy and what we want to leave behind. In other words, so advocacy or advocacy, when it comes to advocacy and the responsibility to respond to situation in the interest of the people, is a very complex thing to do. Or a lot of people run away from it. Why? Because people don't want for government to see them to be politics, to see them to be against them. Because in more cases, advocates or people who are human rights defenders become a target to some government only because they are speaking for the rights of the people, especially in Africa. But that is, we can say, not just free speech, but that is the right that they are exercising, and their responsibility to exercise that right is to respond positively. Is to, if you do a demonstration, is to be positive. So my responsibility as an advocate is to go down to the round table in a conclusion of the matter, the thing that I discuss, and find a solution, a lasting solution to the problem as an advocate. So if we can look back and see somebody just talking about Liberia, right? Liberia, we're showing all the fine places, but we forget about the awkward places because we don't want to show those places, because when they show it, then the government name is going to spoil, right? So ask yourself the question: are you ready as an advocate? Because if you're promoting only a good thing, and and forget about the bad thing, that's what I say. Leave religious tolerance, leave religious probably affiliation out when you want to advocate. Leave probably a kind of partiality, being close to the person or want to work for government. Leave that all and be a neutral person in between. For government, we both trust government, therefore we are fully for government. But we are not for government in the sense that when government is infringing on the rights of the people, you can't be for government. Then who are you as an advocate? You see, almost like you come between the father and the mother, and there's a problem. You come to come and settle the dispute, but you decide to support the father because that's your friend. Then who are you? So as an advocate, you in the position as the one that is disputing something, but your dispute is for the next person to benefit. So let's say, for instance, I'm talking about probably building a library like our sister we talked to yesterday, which you see no library in the whole of Kakatan, or maybe in Grand Bassa County. And well, I say, okay, but there's no library in Grand Bassa County. And then we go to the round table, I push it, and I wrote a concept, or try to push some information that was very sensitive. My concept, or my perspective, or my lecture research to know about how the maybe the demolition, or probably the area, the population, and the distance to walk to go to school, the distance to walk to go to the next library. So I present something that would be marketable, that they would buy. Now, I'm not just sending it, but I'm going to push it. I'm going to sell it. I'm going to talk about it. So when I'm talking about it, there should be no one in government that will convince me that we're not supposed to be talking about it. That's what we're saying. So nobody, from the president down, from the pastor down, from the community leader down, there should be no one that will come to you to tell you, well, look, let's forget this thing. Let's put it behind the table, man. Those guys, they're not ready. They are insignificant. Then I say, okay, yeah, my man. So what my piece of bread, man? Give me my own chopping. Okay, I will forget it. You know, these guys, I know, I just try to show them that I love them. Then you ask yourself, who are you? So, but when you push it, and then you know that it's justified, you can justify it. In other words, to justify something is to prove that it is truth, that they need it. I can show you, I can demonstrate, I can carry you there, I can show you that the population they have and the consuming property they have, this thing is, they don't have, and they have right. That's the right to demand the right, because we have access, we have a lot of money coming in for that district. So where the 5% of that money go? Why can we pull it on the library? So because I'm an advocate, I lobby it in the house with the guys. And lobbying is not that you are backing them, but lobbying is that you're making them to make sure that it goes through and buying their own views, so that they can promote it and make sure that when they go to vote, they are going to make sure to push it and to justify according to what you have said in your own testimonials, or maybe with your own presentation. So by means of justifying, you must prove beyond all reasonable doubt that this is a just cause for the people. So to accept that it was not a just cause and you just want to do it, or you just want to show it up, you just want to show it up to say, well, you want to prove that this is something that you can do, and well, it's not going to help. In other words, then of course you need to ask yourself the question: why did God put you in that position? Why did you talk about it? There should be no case. So I want to say to all of us that we have an obligation. We are obligated to our people as an advocate. I don't care who you are. You can be the bigger pastor or bishop or whatever you are in the world. If you are suppressing and you are not doing the thing that required of us as believers, you can be imams, you can be whatever religion you belong to. If you disrespect the people, or probably infringing on the rights of the human person, then you can be my friend. No, I can't back you, because I will be partially doing it and trying to infringe on the people's right as an advocate. So an advocate is between the government and between the people, but in the sense of buttressing government effort and promoting the people's rights, to make sure that the community that we serve or we live in, or the people live in, have an equal or equitable distribution of resources. Well, it may not be fair enough. We know that things would not be the way we think, but at least as an advocate, we need to press or put our feet down very hard. Thank God for the president. Thank God for the House that voted on this this war crime court, war and economic crime court. Why you think so? Because our advocates and all the advocates in Liberia, all the Liberia lawyers and everyone that went to the table, the civil rights, the civil organization, civil society organization, all the CSOs, all human rights organizations, all that residential is held, and all the different institutions that have been pushing. They will not push it because, well, they just want to see something happen. They push it because they want to see the penalty, and they don't want it to occur that people would go out in impunity, and at the end of the day, other people would do the same. So when we talk about peace, justice, and reconciliation, peace, justice, and equality, it has to do with the fact that everyone has the right, but everyone is also responsible to take actions that will help us to develop this global world, starting from your community level, whether you have a religious institution, a church level, whether you have an institution to every given society, from the home level also. That is the marriage, to the church, community, and then we found district and different county level, and then we come to the national level and international level. But it has to start from somewhere. So the community engagement, talk about rights and responsibility. We engage community leaders probably in our pursuit to develop their minds, where the life empowerment comes in, to develop their mind, to think positive about the next person, even if you don't want to think positive about them, even if you don't want to treat them right. It is a must. Now, this is something that the world has to know. This is something that people are ignorant. There are a certain group of people that are ignorant. Their parents have left those legacy with them. So all they know that no need to respect these insignificant people. So in all our lifetime, we have been calling people insignificant. We have been overlooking other people, and we go back to chaos. That is not peace. So when somebody talk about United Nations, why they came, why did they go there for the 9 countries? Why did they go together? Why 100 some countries going together to solve a problem? Why did they go together? Why these countries decided to go together? Because there were chaos. So really, we don't want to see chaos again. No, that's why they went together. So what brings about chaos is when you start to discriminate, marginalize, suppress. Then it brings to the next person also, they take us to be insignificant guys. Then of course we are insignificant. Then we will start doing some insignificant things around here. They get vexed, and because you marginalize them. So that's why peace is so important. Justice is so important, and equality. You see, when we begin to look at equality, rights have to be shared, equal resources. Yes, at least if not all, there must be a sign of equality in our communities, in the organization. Even if you have children and you start to maybe take one and start putting all the investing all the time. One day, one of the child will get up and say, "You like this girl too much, more than us." So the same way in society, okay? You have two communities. Between the two communities, you have a big gold creek right in between them. Two of them own that gold creek, so they will start fighting. So because you don't want them to fight, you come as a peace ambassador. Okay, and then you say, okay, we understand that this is between you guys. We have too much diamonds and gold in this place. So what we do, 5% we are bringing construction companies here, and they are going to mine. So when the mine, 5% or 10% comes, 5% go to the next community. The other 5% go to the other community for development, not individual pocket, but for development. So it is the responsibility of our lawmaker to make it happen, but it's also our responsibility as advocates to go there and do a site finding, or go on the field, see some of the things, take the video, go to the records of the budgetary allotment, or probably the report or the budget casting or whatever thing. Go to the whole budget, see what was allotted to that community based on the resources that they have. So now, if they were deprived of it, then advocate in that community or that is in the thematic area, even you could be in a part of Liberia, in a part of Nigeria. Now you have to advocate for their rights. That's the right. As a community, as a district that have those resources, and the government is having good money from that place, but the people live in poverty. How can you reconcile that? It's not possible. So human rights education is so important, and we need to know more about what we need to know. We need not to get on the street to start protesting and start breaking people places, or start breaking car glasses, or maybe stopping the car for going to the airport. People on their way, to travel, and you book a big block because, well, there was some infringement or something went on in your community. Well, everybody knows that take action based on the way, well, people don't want to see them. But I would tell you that while you're taking those actions, remember that the people that gets in their car on their way to the airport, they have the right to travel. They are paid their money and they are traveling. You don't have the right to put a big blockade to the place to stop them from traveling. So all you can do, okay, no government car traveling here today until they can hear us. I think if you want to do that, those are other steps you take in order to make people to know your intention is clear. So when government vehicle that you're really looking for, to say no government vehicle pass, by the time you see them coming, you can block the place. But other cars that is private citizens who don't know about what you do, you block the way. So there are ways that we do our protests that will help us, that will help other people to understand, to have clarity about why we're blocking the road. So we need this education because many people have some mistakes we made along the line. Okay, we have rights. So let's agree that the senator, the one that is responsible to sign that document, houses on Rabafi Highway, closer to this house. If you really want to take action for him to act, go to this house and take the action. Why? Because it is he who has refused to sign. So when you take action where people, innocent people who going to do their businesses, passing that way, and you go put big blockade, nobody pass, you are stopping people who going to the airport. They got to take the long road. If there's only one road, then they got to pass right there. It means if they don't pass, the plane is going to leave. Then the money they pay will be for free. The hotel they got to live in, they got to pay again. So those are measures that we could go back to the round table and discuss. Learn how to take actions, especially activists. We have the right to protest. It is our right. A freedom of assembly. You look at Articles 18, 19, 20, 21, all the from assembly, speech, religious tolerance. These are things that people need to take to the bottom of their mind to understand the principles of education, educating people when it comes to human rights. Even religious leaders have violated many people's rights. We're going to talk about that in another section. But we are saying today, for human's sake, respect the next person. Your right ends where another man's right begins. So I can't be going to the airport. I'm supposed to be in a meeting 2 o'clock the next day, and I'm supposed to arrive in the state maybe 1 o'clock in the night and prepare for the meeting the next day. And then you block the road in Liberia. Maybe I went for the meeting and on my way back, you see all these guys, nobody passing here again, nobody going to no airport, everything closed. No, that is not protest. You see, constructively, what can you do? You can take it in the professional way. Now, somebody will say there's no way, there's no other professional way. But let's agree that the speaker who is the final signatory is living on that road. And you know the speaker's house. You know the all the guys. You know their houses. Now it is not a witch hunt. It is the reality. It is your right to demand. So you go to the speaker's house, to those places that are the hindrance to the actions against the things that you are talking about. If it is your representative that have not pushed or that have not done anything concerning what you have told him, and you wanted to have a protest against him or making to act, go to this house. Okay, don't burn his house, don't do nothing harmful to him, but show him that you guys are serious about what you say. But you can't go and block the road where businessmen that pay their taxes, or people that are traveling, guests came to the country. And so we advocates, we need to talk about these things, because the people we talk for, the people we are advocating for, need to learn also they have rights and they have responsibilities. I think they're where we are when it comes to human rights. So it's not about, well, okay, human rights, you have rights. My child have right. But I see that many children are they abusing their own rights. When you look at your parents and say, leave me alone, and you yell at them, your responsibility not to yell at them, your responsibility is to respect them, even if you demand your right. So that is not human right. That is not right. So the child has a responsibility to act responsibly, to act respectfully to their parents, to older people. So that is it. Let us begin to look at this, because it's a crucial issue in the world we live today. People are violating people's rights. Part of the countries are violating people's rights. Leaders are violating people's rights. People that have been abused on a daily basis by different spouses. Femicides, intimate femicides. That means the crime of being condemned almost every day. We're going to be coming up next week again. Next week, by the special grace of God, we're going to be coming up with something bigger called the Woman Like Me Conference. We have other things coming up at the end of the month, the Life Empowerment Conference with this worshiping God, worshiping the giver and not the gift. The conference is every year, and again, this year is going to be the end of that, means the 29th and the 30th. So we think that we can do the best we can as human, in other words, to respect each other. If I respect my wife, I cannot behave like a husband if I don't respect my wife. If you don't submit to your husband, you don't respect him, well, then that means there's no submission. Talk about submission in law, and that is the same thing with government. So you got to understand that well, maybe when it comes to respecting your wife, somebody will tell me, well, I'm not supposed to respect my wife. Well, then that means you're not understanding when you talk about respect. If you want to degrade your wife because, well, you think that you can go belittle yourself, that's a different topic. But I'm saying to the place where she has a right, you have a right, and we need to respect each other's right. So if you begin to look down on the other person as a woman because you feel that you have all the rights, then also ask yourself the question: why did you go in the life of this guy? Why did you consider him in your life either? So we disregard each other because we don't understand what human rights is all about. We think that human right is that just demanding our rights. We don't have responsibility. So in my conclusion, to society, to leaders and people who are promoting different culture, or trying to demolish different culture and trying to push something against the rights of that culture, is a violation. You see, the piece we're talking about, justice and equality, that's the bottom line. I would not accept my son who left from my house and go up there, and I had 3 other children in the house. When he came back with different culture or different lifestyle. Now, why do you think I'm not going to accept him in the house? because I don't want him to destroy the other children. That is my responsibility as a father. Rights and responsibilities. So your responsibility as a leader, as a government, is to again go back to the society, people who want to live a double standard of life that is against the moral of that community or that nation. You got to go back to them and tell them, look, this is the norm of this nation. You see, the reason is the country, the world is facing crisis, and we continue to face crisis, and when we leave here tomorrow, we'll be in our grave, and we will regret some of the document that we are signing in the world today. We are signing some document, we are signing laws that is going to contravene, that is going to affect our children. Because what laws is, Lord makes it clear that this is good for you to do. But when it is open, in other words, maybe if I want to get involved into something that is against the other person, it's open. I make choices, but those choices does not give me the right to do it, right? So if I found doing it, I go to jail. So now it becomes something that people will say, oh no, this is not something right, because it's not a law. So there were many nations and people who say they are educated. There were many people are going to make mistakes. We cannot and should not think that, well, okay, this person, maybe we have 100% that agree to live a different lifestyle or from the community they came from or they were born. But because they want to live that lifestyle and they have already decided to live that lifestyle, so okay, we agree with them because they have the right to choose, to make choice. But the consequences is that you can't go back in the community because in that community, the people don't like you. They're not going to accept you. So what is my responsibility as a Christian or as a person who is ready, not partial? Is to look at the face of the guys who want to change themselves or want to make themselves to be not like where they were born. So then what happened? I cannot force them on the people who are thousands. Why you think so? Because that is my responsibility to protect. The responsibility of that government is to protect its citizens. The responsibility of a father is to protect the other children, his home. So he's not going to like the wolf to come in to destroy the sheep. So how do we know? Now, every society, every court, or something like a court, or something that is double standard, or something that is not actually created or were created initially, always initiate. So the purpose of people who want to do certain thing or a form of different society is not to just go there, it's to initiate. So when we allow people to go in those communities, and that's why other nations and other communities will say, no, look, man, we are sorry. They have the right. We love this guy or we love this person, but look, we don't want this person to come in our community. The reason is simple. Because when this person comes into our community, our children will be messed up. Then what happens to our society? So why can you leave it open? And that's why we advocate for every individual. Why would you destroy somebody's life because they make choice? The choice they made, that's their choice. So the consequences they go through is, look, they're not going to go in that community to live. You know why you're doing that? You are also protecting them. And you're protecting the other community. So why you do cross-examination? Why you go back to see cross-culture in when you studied about cross-culture? How can you go into a community that, well, they're not going to accept you because of your immorals or some of the things you do against their society? Do they have the right not to accept you? You can say yes or no. Somebody will argue why they have rights. So rights demand responsibility. So you cannot force them to accept someone who they know will not protect their children. You cannot force them on a society because you are a government that is there for the people. So what you as a government can do is to find a safe place for them and then protect them from the people. Why? Because you don't want for the other people to get messed up with them. You don't want for the other people to destroy them because they don't like them. And you can't force them to like them. You understand what I'm saying? So this is all about the reality. It's not about, it's almost like the guy is a husband, but he comes in drunk all the time. He's the husband, right? But every time they go to bed, he try to kiss his wife or try to go closer to his wife. He's drunk. He got to smell all the kind of way. Why do you think this woman will not want him to come closer to her again until he can put himself in order, right? So the same way, let us begin to learn this thing and understand that the thing they call human rights, we can't say, okay, I'll learn this thing, even though the people that I live with, they don't like it, but I will force it on them. Are you serious? Are you right? You are wrong. You are not right. You have your right to make your choice. The choice that you made, remember that the next person, your mother who bore you, don't like that choice. Your father who bore you, don't like that choice. The community you come from, they live different from that choice. So you think the community will accept you or should accept you. As a human rights activist and a pastor, I would tell you that it would be wrong when you go there to force the people on the next generation that have thousands. So the population is more than 1,000. Why do you think so? Like I said in my conclusion, so that the remnants, that means the other people who are not probably in what the other people are in, will be protected because they don't want to be like that. You understand that? So, but when you force them, it becomes chaotic. There where you don't want peace. And also you don't want to protect this person or this group of people, because I will tell you the truth, to go and do a census. Let not be. You see, the problem with society today is that we are not frank to each other. Do your census, do your survey, ask people opinion about these things. How many people commit suicide in the world? Go and do your statistics. Why did they do it? If they were not in that situation that people will reject them, they wouldn't have done it, right? So then it means that particular act is wrong. It's not good. So we can see it. So it's not good. So why would you want to force them in a community, and that thing is not good? So it means all the people that will get involved will almost going to destroy their own life because they will not be accepted inside the society. And if they're not strong enough to bear it, they are going to do something and even do something to other people. So if we can prevent these things and begin to look at the causes of some of the things that happen in our society, in the world today, then of course we'll prevent some things from happening. I think that's where the community engagement is all about. To engage people constructively, and we are there for every individual. We are not there for only the one that did not make the choice. We are there to protect the life of ones who probably make choice and people don't want to see them in the community. We are there for them. Why? Because that's what we are advocating for. We are not there for them because we want to promote them. No. We're not there for them because we are happy for them to do what they're doing. No. But we are there to protect their life because they could change. They could make a turnaround and become good citizens of their country. So not to destroy them, not to reject them, but also not to force them on another group of people to make it worse. So we try to protect their life, and we try to protect the others from being contaminated for something that they don't like. Okay, so I think this must be the balance in our discussions. There must be a time where people will look in the face of the next person and tell them, look, I don't care what you do, you can go up and come down. This teaching is wrong, especially when it comes to Christianity. This teaching is a false teaching. And why you think you can tell them that? Because you can justify. If it is the teaching based on Christ or Christianity, you can't say, there's no way that you can say the man encounter Christ and he hate his brother. No, you can't say that. Why? Because Christianity is not that way. You see, people are cruel because they don't have the mind. You can be doing good for them, they'll be doing wrong to you. Cruelty. And I tell you the truth, if we don't stop this thing, we are not going to succeed. Because the person that you're doing it to could be the person that want to help you. And they're going to be, everybody can get tired. They will say, no, I think I got to stop right here, because if I continue, I'll be destroying myself. And that's where people can come and say, oh, this guy. No, frankly speaking, whether you are good, whether you're wrong, whether you really want to help somebody, when you see the way they are betraying you and the things they're doing, you're going to definitely change your mind. Everybody can do it. So the same way with the community, the same way with the group that we're talking about. So let us not be sycophantic. Let us not be deceitful. Even in our relationship with collaborating partners and people who we collaborate with. You see, in my conclusion, human rights is an entitlement to every individual and must be protected by law guaranteed by the states. Rights and responsibilities. My responsibility as collaborator is to support you in whatever way I have, weak way. It may not be financially, it may be morally, prayer, or probably coordinating with you. I expect not the same from you, but I expect a results. So there can be no way that you can just, well, say, okay, this guy likes to do this, but I'm not going to respect him. Or this guy like to do this. I really want him to be for us to partner, but I'm not going to be whatever he's doing. I'm not going to do it for him or her. So I want to say to all of us, partnership is two-way street. It's not one. Nowhere in the world. Husband and wife is like, if you love, submit. And you guys don't have to respect each other. The same way with what a collaborating, what a mutual, whatever partnership, it has to do with in respect and understanding, and it's not a one-way street. And that's why many people, out of two things happen. Out of the person, the next person taking themselves to be more important than the next person, but they're expressing a kind of mutual thing like human rights. Human rights is not a mockery. It's a showcase. So when you get into human rights and teaching human rights or try to preach or minister human rights or being an advocate, you should not be partial. Whether you're a religion, whether you belong to a religion, so you respect this religious, maybe I'm a religious guy, so you're a Christian, so you like me more than the other guy because he's a Muslim. No, then that means you're not serious. You're not going to pursue. People will observe you. People will notice you, except people who don't have the sense of discernment. And thank God for the spirit of discernment to some of us. So it's kind of two-way street, man. It's not one way. And there's no way that somebody could be doing good for you and you're turning them bad. They keep doing, well, sometimes we keep doing it, but we're not going to continue because what happened? We gotta go ahead. All of us have, this road is big, man. This thing is big. It's so big that we cannot hold it. Okay? So whether you are influential, whether I'm an influential guy, when we come together, we support each other, buttress each other effort. I don't know what I'm going to see you. I don't know who I'm going to get in contact with through you. That's what coordination, collaboration is all about. So probably I want to say thank you. And those of us who are listening, man, we can all do it together to make the world a better place. There's no way that you can say rights does not have responsibility. You can have rights, but you must have responsibility to respect other person's right because they too have feelings. If you think you don't have feelings, well, okay, I agree. Go back and ask God and know whether one person have feelings to keep making the other person hide. So I want to thank God and say to all of us that, look, man, let's do the right thing. And I'm from any ministry, anywhere in the world. If you don't actually respect the human person, if you take the other person to be insignificant, then you are not a ministry. You are not the God-sent ministry. or probably the people who are occupying the position have not encountered Christ. I think when it comes to the church, when it comes to a religious leader, then of course we need to put ourselves together, because whatever we do in the world today, we'll respect people's rights and have religious tolerance. Let other people, let us allow other people to express their opinion. Even those who say no to people who preach on the bus, who probably preach on the street, it is an error. Because when you talk about religious tolerance, open it to everybody. Whether you want to preach or not, that's your business. If another group can preach, let them preach, because the public building and the public places belong to all of us. So if you infringe on anyone's rights from maybe preaching in a public place or using public facility, then of course it's a violation. It's a violation. So I want to say to all of us that we need to look at that, and it's very important to know your rights and your responsibility. Thank you for maybe following. If you're following, if you're listening, be careful. Traffickers and people that are trafficking, they're modern trafficking all over the place. Don't forget to look at your children. Make sure that not all the scholarship in the world that might be genuine. You got to make sure who is telling you what, and then go after it. Make a good research. If you're not certified, get back to us and let's do that research and make sure that you're not getting in the wrong hand. Thank you and goodbye for now.